الماضي وتكلمنا أيضا عن جزء من ال writing part اللي هو ال definitions, how to use which and that in definitions, and we were talking about giving examples when you describe something or you give a definition. So let's move on so we don't waste our time. Anyway, let me just do this first. Okay. Now, as I said, we were talking about giving examples. So when you describe an object or give a definition of something, you usually give examples to support your definition. Okay. Now, below here we have three ways or three methods of giving examples. Method A, as we said last week, using non-defining relative clauses. Mobile phones or mobile phone companies such as Nokia and Motorola are very successful, or you could say such as Apple and Samsung are very successful. This phrase, such as Nokia and Motorola, is used to give more information or to give examples. Okay, as you can see, if you remove or delete this phrase, that is not going to affect the meaning of the sentence. So if we delete such as Nokia and Motorola, the sentence will be mobile phone companies are very successful, which is a full sentence, grammatically correct, and everything is right. Everything is, there's nothing wrong with it. That's why this is called non-defining relative clause, such as Nokia and Motorola. Planets orbit the sun, but other bodies orbit the planets. Dot. Here, this is the end of the first sentence. Planets orbit the sun, but other bodies orbit the planets. For example, the moon orbits the earth. And I think we all know that. The phrase here, for example, or you could use as example, it's up to you, is used to connect these two sentences. The first sentence, planets orbit the sun, but other bodies orbit the planets. The second sentence, the moon orbits the sun. This is a completely separate sentence from the first one. We used, for example, to join them, but they still two different sentences. The first sentence ends here, and the second sentence starts with for. And as you can see, the capital letter F, because it's at the beginning of a sentence. And of course, we end with full stop. The third method, or method C, there are many planets in our solar system, comma, for example, Mars, Jupiter, and the Earth. We used, for example, here to introduce examples, to add information to the sentence. But these are not two separate sentences. This is just what's called noun phrase. As you know, phrase is a group of words, not one, but more than one. And these has nouns. Mars is a noun. It's a name. Jupiter, and the Earth. These are names. بعد هذا الانقطاع، مثل ما كنا نتكلم قبل قليل عن الطرق اللي ممكن أن نستخدمها حتى ننطي أمثلة على الأشياء اللي جاي نتكلم عنها، عن تجربة، عن disease مثلا، دواء. أوكي. أيضا من ضمن الأشياء اللي ممكن أن نستخدمها هو المختصرات. ممكن أن نستخدم مختصرات في الجمل. We can use the abbreviation e.g., which means for example or as example, instead of for example. There are many planets in our solar system, comma, e.g. Mars, Jupiter, and the Earth. So these are the way that we can use to introduce example or to give examples. Now, we have this text or this paragraph that it's a description of laptops. It's talking about laptops, and most of you know what laptops are, or you already have laptops. So let us try to fill in the blanks. We have 7 blanks and 7 words in the box, these words. So laptops are a blank of personal computer. So laptops are a type of personal computer. Okay. Blank you can use anywhere.
Which?
So laptops are a type of personal computer which you can use anywhere. And if you remember last week when we talked about definitions, we said we use which and the clause after which in a definition. So laptops are a type of personal computer. Then we use which to introduce more information, which you can use anywhere. They are also known as a notebook computer. For blank,
For example,
the IBM ThinkPad. So they are also known as a notebook computer. For example, the IBM ThinkPad. So this is a way of introducing or giving examples, okay, to support our definition or to give the reader more information. Laptops usually weigh between 1 and 3 kilograms. Blank, they are easy to carry around. So they are easy to carry around. And if you remember from last year, when we talked about conjunctions or words that are used to link two sentences. We said we use so to link cause and result, reason and effect. Okay, so the cause here is that laptops weigh between 1 and 3 kilograms. Some laptops weigh more, other laptops weighs maybe even less than 1 kilogram. But the result, this is the reason. The result is that they are easy to carry around. And hence, we used so here. These computers can run on batteries, blank. They can also use mains electricity.
But
These computers can run on batteries, but they can also use mains electricity. And if you remember, we said we use but to join two contrast sentences. So the first sentence says that laptops runs on batteries. The second sentence says that laptops runs on electricity. Okay? So we can join those two sentences by using but. Laptops are becoming very popular. Blank, they are cheaper. And here we use because. And as you know, we use because also to join reason and result. But the because is different from so. For so, the reason comes before so, and the result comes after. With because, it's the other way around. Okay? You can use them in different places. Blank,
such as
libraries, canteens, on a train, or even in the street. So the last one is such as. Such as libraries, canteens, on a train, or even in the street. So, and this is another method or another way for giving or adding examples to sentences. Finally, they are useful for businessmen and women and also for students, just like you. All right. This is another paragraph or a text that is talking about satellite. It's a description of a satellite. But as you can see, we have some words that have some errors in them. We also have some missing words. So the idea from this exercise is that whenever you write, you have to check and double check your writing. Not only for grammar, but we check for grammar, for spelling, for punctuation, for word order, for some missing words. If there are some missing words, we check for all of these before we submit our writing. So let us try to correct these mistakes. A satellite is any object which. What's wrong with this word, which?
حرف ال H.
Okay, it's missing an H between the W and the I. A satellite is any object which orbits another object, which means that mistake was a spelling mistake. Okay, also you need to differentiate between mistakes. Not all mistakes are the same. There are grammar spelling mistakes, punctuation mistakes. Okay, so the first one is spelling mistake. All bodies that is part of the solar system. So this is are. All bodies that are part of the solar system. So instead of is, we have are. For example, so this is also another spelling mistake. Example is written as PLE, not PEL. So this is another spelling mistake. For example, the Earth and Jupiter are satellites. What's wrong here?
ناقص فتح ال
Missing one L letter. Because the word satellite, as you can see here at the beginning, it has two L, double L, not just one. Okay, so most blank these bodies orbit the sun. We have a missing word here.
most of
Most of. So this mistake is called a missing word mistake. Most of these bodies orbit the sun, but others orbit planets. For example, the moon orbits the earth.
there's a missing S.
S, the third person S. The moon orbits the earth. So this is what's called verb noun or verb subject agreement. The moon is a third person here, so we have to use S. If you want to know if a noun is a third person or not, you can change it with a pronoun. If it's changed with she, he, or it, it has to use S after the verb. Okay? So this is a subject-verb agreement or noun-verb agreement. When we using the term satellite,
when we use.
This is a verb form mistake. The verb here should be use, which is the infinite verb, the infinite form of the verb use, not the ing form or the gerund form of the verb use. So when we use the term satellite, we usually mean
usual
we usually mean an artificial satellite. This a man-made object. This is. It's another missing word. Mistake. This is
object.
a man-made. What's wrong with object?
E.
We have E instead of I. So it's J-E-C, not J-I-C. So this is a spelling mistake. A man-made object that orbits the Earth or another body.
Or other
Space between two words. Between the same word.
It's just one word, not two. So it's another, not an other. It's another body. Okay. However, scientists may also use the term for natural satellites or moons. What's wrong here? It's
IE
also,
rather than EI.
it's another spelling mistake, which is SCIE instead of SCEI. Okay, so as you can see, whenever you write, you might have some mistakes, spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, punctuation mistakes, like you have to start the sentence with capital letter and end your sentence with full stop, something like that. That's why you need to check and double check your writing before you submit it, either in the exam or homework or report or whatever. Now, if you don't have any questions on the writing part, we are going to move to the vocabulary development part. If you don't have any questions. In the vocabulary development, today we are going to talk about homophones. And as the name implies, homophones are words which sound the same but have different spellings and different meanings. So this is the definition of the word homophones. As we are talking about definitions, so what is the definition of homophones? Homophones are words which sound the same but have different spellings and different meanings. For example, meat and meat. As you can see, both words sound the same. This is meat, and this one is also meat, but they have different spelling. M-E-A-T, this one is M-E-E-T, and also they have different meanings. Like in Arabic, meat معناها لحم, and this in Arabic معناها يلتقي. يلتقي. Okay. Examples on these: can I meet you at 7 this evening? Example on the other meat: meat and rice is my favorite dish. So when you read them, it's obvious to you. You know the difference. But when you hear them, when you listen to someone talking about these words, it's not easy to differentiate between them. And that's why you need to listen to the whole sentence, to the full sentence, before you decide which is which word is the first meat and which word is the second meat or the other meat. Okay? Learners of English often misspell these words. Why they misspell them? Because they just hear someone speaking and they just write the word. Okay? That's why there will be misspelling. And that's why you have or you need to check your writings. Here are some more examples on homophones. Like the words no and no. No, the first one
لا.
معناها بالعربي لا. The second one
يعرف.
يعرف. Very good. مثل ما زميلتكم قالت، هذه معناها يعرف، هذه معناها لا. Okay, what about the first? It's. بالعربي مو شرط بالانجليزي.
الأولى تشير للتملك والثانية معناها it is.
جيد جدا. الأولى it's اللي تشير للتملك مثل ما قالت زميلتكم، والثانية هي مختصر for it is. Okay. What about
الأولى حرف جر.
to حرف جر؟
لا. تو الثانية بمعنى أيضا وتو
أيضا
الثالثة بمعنى رقم.
and this is a number. So the first two is a preposition. The second two means also. The third two is the number two. All right. What about there and there and
They
there?
are
First one,
الأولى they are home.
okay, they are. The second one,
الثانية there هناك.
there is there, which for the place refers to the place where something is. And the last one
yes. Object.
is which is called objective or object pronoun. As you may know, we have subject pronoun, we have object pronouns. So this one is the object pronoun. This is a contraction or short for they are, and this there refer to a place where something is or something happened. And as your classmate says, this one is the object pronoun. Okay, let us do this exercise to practice the homophones. The mechanic doesn't know or know. The first no or the second no.
The second one.
The mechanic doesn't know how to fix the car, and I have no idea. As you can see, if you don't see them, you might mix between them. You might misspell them because they pronounce or they sound the same. The mechanic doesn't know how to fix the car, and I have no idea. Both of them sound the same, but they have different spelling and different meaning. Number two, I like autumn, blank, the best season. Which one?
It is.
الأولى.
The first one, which is a short for or a contraction for it is. It's the best season in my country. Number three, I think that 14 is. Which two here?
Two. الثاني.
الثانية.
The second one? Okay. I think that 14 is too young for a child, which means
الأولى.
so much young for a child to go to university. Two, the other two is a preposition. Blank are a lot of mistakes in blank report. Blank writing
There.
it again.
The second.
Okay, so the first one is the second there. The second
Third.
one.
The second one is the first. Or the third. The third.
Okay, let us go back. Which one is the blank?
Second.
The second,
There. الثانية.
the second blank.
Third. ثالثة.
Third. الثالثة.
Their report, the third one. So that will leave their
The
writing it
They
again.
are.
There are a lot of mistakes in their report. They are writing it again. Another examples on homophones like see and see. See is a verb. بالعربي يرى. And see is a noun. بالعربي بحر. Another example is write and write. One of them is the verb write واللي معناها يكتب. الأخرى write معناها صح.
معناها صحيح.
صحيح.
وأكو واحدة ثالثة اللي هي تشير الاتجاه اليمين.
Okay, that one is not a homophone. Okay, how do you write the word right, which means بالعربي باتجاه اليمين؟ R شنو يجي وراها؟
RIGH.
RIGHT. اوكي، هاي رايت اللي معناها باتجاه اليمين. طيب رايت اللي معناها صحيح، شلون اكتب رايت اللي معناها صحيح؟ قطع الصوت. رايت اللي معناها صحيح ايضا نفس طريقه كتابه رايت اللي هي باتجاه اليمين. هذه رايت وهذه رايت نفس الكتابه. RIGHT اللي هي نفس رايت اللي معناها يمين. اذا هذه مو هوموفونز، لان احنا لازم نرجع الى تعريف الهوموفونز. Homophones are words that sound the same but have different spelling and different meaning. Right اللي معناها يمين، right اللي معناها صحيح، اثنينهم the same sound and the same spelling. هذه مو homophones، هذه يسمونها homonyms. Homonyms, which are words, it's the same word but have more than one meaning. Like the word book. book ممكن أن تجي على شكل اسم معناها كتاب، أو book ممكن أن تجي على شكل فعل
معنى حجز،
معناها يحجز أو حجز أو حجز. أوكي، هذه homonyms وليست homophones. أوكي، لازم ترجعون للتعريف حتى تقدرون تميزون بيناتهم. رايت اللي معناها يكتب، ورايت اللي معناها صحيح أو يمين، هذه homophones لأن تختلف بالكتابة وتختلف بالمعنى، لكن تتشابه بالصوت فقط. homophone phone اللي معناها صوت. اوكي، لازم هذه تميزون بيناتها. إذا ما عندكم سؤال بعد على ال vocabulary development والهوموفونز حتى ننتقل إلى الريسيرش. طبعا أيضا مثال آخر على الهوموفونز هو weight and weight. weight
واحد بمعنى وزن والأخرى بمعنى انتظار.
جيد، هذه أيضا هوموفونز لأن نفس الصوت لكن تختلف بالكتابة وتختلف بالمعنى، لكن الصوت هو صوت واحد. Anyway, for the research part, as I said, resources. Okay, most of the time, whenever you have a homework or a report, or you want to find the meaning of a word, or you want to check for something, you go and search the internet. You look for websites. Now, you have to check those websites carefully. Why? Because anyone can write on the internet. It's correct. Not every and each website is reliable. Okay? So whenever you search for anything, ask these questions about every website. Ask yourself these questions. Who is the author? Who wrote this these information on that website. Maybe it's someone's personal page, like a blog. You know, there are some bloggers. Those are people who write on their personal websites. Is the information accurate? Are there mistakes? How do you know that? By checking more than one website. Like if you want to know a medication for a disease, you are a pharmacist and you are searching for a medication for some diseases. You check for more than one website to make sure you get the correct medication. Another question, is it objective or honest? Because some website, like someone's personal page, these are subjective, not objective. Maybe it is an advertisement for a company, as example. Most of the time, these advertisements are not objective. Most of the time, these are subjective. And I think you know what objective and subjective means, and why when you are searching for information, it is better to find some objective websites better than subjective websites. I think you know that. Is it up to date? Because there are some old information out there. And as you know, especially in science, and you are students of science, you are pharmacy students, information gets updated regularly. From time to time, some information change or get updated. Okay? And remember, not all websites are useful or reliable. Some websites are useful, others are not. Let us take these examples on website. Like this one is from Wikipedia, which is talking about wind power. This is example on an online encyclopedia. Wikipedia, which is an online encyclopedia. It's talking about wind power. Another website, this one, is also talking about wind power, but this one is mainly talking about turbine from the North Energy Company. This is a company website. So this one is an advertisement. Another example on website is this one, which is talking about the illustrated history of wind power development. It sounds good, it sounds objective, but it's someone's personal page. So it might be subjective. And as I said, I think you know the difference between objective and subjective, at least in Arabic. Okay, that's what we have for the first lecture, for lecture 1. And we will meet again next week. If you don't have any question, you can leave the meet. If you have any question, you can ask.
No, thanks, Doctor.
Excuse me, doctor. I have one question.
Okay. تفضل. تفضل.
Why do language have homophones? Can give me some reasons?
هذه تعتمد على شلون تطورت اللغة، لأن اللغات عادة تكون مبنية من عدة كلمات، وهاي الكلمات قسم من عندها مأخوذة من لغات أخرى. طبعا هاي حتى يعني بلغتنا العربية وبكل اللغات، مو معناها احنا عندنا هوموفونز مثلهم، لكن قصدي بناء اللغة هو يعتمد على مجموعة كلمات، وهاي الكلمات ممكن أن تكون مأخوذة من لغات أخرى. فمن تطورت هاي الكلمات بشكلها الحديث، تطور اللفظ مالتها، أو اللفظ مالتها اعتمد على أصل الكلمة لكن كتابتها تغيرت. فلذلك صارت باللغة أكو هوموفونز اللي هي كلمات لها نفس اللفظ لكن تختلف بالكتابة وتختلف بالمعنى. واللغات أيضا بها هومونيمز. الهومونيمز مثل ما قلنا هي كلمة هي نفس الكلمة لكن لها أكثر من معنى، كلمة بوك على سبيل المثال وغيرها. فهذا يعتمد على تطور اللغة، منين جابوا هاي الكلمات، شنو أصل الكلمات. ومثل ما تعرفون أكو كلمات موجودة باللغات أصلها من لغات أخرى جاية. اللغة الإنجليزية بها كلمات مأخوذة من العربي، واللغة العربية بها كلمات مأخوذة من الإنجليزي. يعني أصل الكلمة مو من لغتنا، أصل الكلمة إحنا أصلا ماخذينها من عندهم، وأيضا وهم عندهم كلمات أصلها ماخذينها من عندهم. فلذلك صارت أكو هوموفونز. بالنسبة للهوموفونز هي أسهل من غيرها، لأن الهوموفونز مجرد أن تقراها بالجملة راح تعرفها. من تقرأ كلمة ميت رأسا تعرف إذا هي MEAT معناها لحم، إذا هي MEET معناها يلتقي. مشكلة الهوموفونز فقط بالسمع. إذا أنت جاي تسمع مثلا مقطع صوتي ماكو كلمات بس صوت، تكون الهوموفونز صعبة، لكن مجرد أن تشوف الكلمة راح تعرف معناها، لأنه هي تختلف بالكتابة، مو بس فقط تختلف بالمعنى وأيضا تختلف بالكتابة، وتتشابه فقط بالصوت. سؤال آخر بعد؟ مثل ما قلت لكم إذا ما عندكم بعد أي سؤال أو أي شيء تقدرون تغادرون الميت. مع السلامة.